The idea of the Nampa Family Justice Center began in 2001 when Detective Angela Weeks of the Nampa Police Department saw the impact of family violence firsthand. Within a 5-month period, 3 little girls came into her life under tragic circumstances. In April of that year, Detective Weeks was called to her first homicide investigation. It was for a 4-month-old female which had been suffocated by her father, who had an unreported history of domestic violence. 5 months later, she would respond to an incident involving an 11-month-old girl who was violently shaken by her babysitter. These shakings would leave her blind, unable to speak, and not able to walk on her own. 2 short weeks later, she was investigating the homicide of another little girl, just short of 3 years of age, who had died from blunt force trauma. Her abuser had a significant history of domestic violence and was violating a no-contact order when he murdered her. Detective Weeks was determined to not have these cases be in vain. She wanted their lives to be a reason to do things differently, making a marked impact on family violence. She worked to educate herself, her department, and her community. In April of 2003, Angela had the opportunity to attend a conference in San Diego, California, where she toured the first Family Justice Center. That night in her hotel room, she wrote an 8-page strategic plan of how Nampa could create its own partnership of city, county, and state agencies, opening its own Family Justice Center and bringing a new level of holistic healing to our city. Within a few months, a community meeting where shared stakeholders discussed the concept of the Family Justice Center brought Detective Weeks' dream closer to fruition. A community development block grant was awarded to finance the creation, and a city-owned building in downtown Nampa was available. In October 2003, President Bush announced the President's Family Justice Center initiative, which would fund 15 pilot projects across the country that would become the model of the Family Justice Center movement. Nampa was chosen as one of these sites, and the initiative team worked for 2 years before our doors opened. Today, the Nampa Family Justice Center is a partnership of agencies that provides holistic services to victims of domestic violence, child abuse, sexual assault, elder abuse, stalking, and human trafficking. Our innovative approach to assisting victims of abuse has provided nearly 100,000 client visits to children and adults, supporting them with our unique process of safety, self-sufficiency, hope, and healing